6:30 p.m. and the Louisville Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of September 4th, 2012 is now called to order, and there is a quorum present. The first item on the agenda is approve the minutes of the August 21st, 2012 meeting. Commissioners, you have copies of the agenda or of the minutes. Is there any additions, deletions, or changes? If not, may I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Brent.
Second.
Seconded by Stephen. Those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3 on the agenda is a public hearing consent agenda for a plat. This is the final plat of the Martinez Family Edition, Lot 1, Block A. It is a 0.568 acre tract. It is zoned Old Town Mixed Use 1, OTMU1, located on the west side of Cowan Avenue at Walters Street. Mary?
Good evening, Commissioners. This plat is a replat of the previous Gene Jackson edition. Originally, this was platted as, I believe, 8 individual lots. The Martinez family has bought the property and plans to create one dwelling unit on it for their use. It meets all the zoning and general development ordinance requirements, and staff would recommend approval.
Commissioners, questions? Okay, if not, this time we'll open up the public hearing. If anybody wishes to come forward and speak about this request, please do so. Having no one come forward, may I have a
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
motion by Alvin to close public hearing?
Second.
Seconded by Michael. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Commissioners, is there any discussion? Okay, if not, may I have a motion to accept or deny?
I'll make a motion to accept the proposal.
Okay, motion by Michael to accept,
Second.
seconded by Brent. Those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item 4 is a regular hearing for plats. This is the final plat of Faux Edition, Lot 1, Block A, a 1.57 acre tract, zoned light industrial, L1, located on the southwest corner of Midway and Holford's Prairie Road. David?
There we go. I thought it was going to come up. Sounds. Oh. The parcel under consideration this evening is a final plat of the Faux Edition. It is located at the southwest corner of Midway Road and Holford's Prairie Road. It's a 1.57 acre parcel, currently unplatted, zoned light industrial. The owners are proposing to market the property for an industrial or commercial use and have no immediate plans to develop the site. The owners have applied for a variance attached to this plat, and that variance is to waive the required street escrow for Midway Road and Holford's Prairie Road. Both Midway Road and Holford's Prairie Road are substandard city streets, asphalt with no curb and gutter. The city's general development ordinance requires that when properties are platted adjacent to such roads, that the developer either build one half of the road or based on staff's opinion, can place money in escrow where it doesn't make sense to actually go out and construct half of a road. And this would be one of those cases where the property is so small that we would probably want an escrow rather than actual construction. Nevertheless, it is a small, very small parcel with 2 street frontages, and so it places it in sort of an unusual situation where the cost of the street improvements are very considerable given the size of the property and the value of the property. And in those cases, it's not unusual for staff to recommend a variance. The estimated cost of the paving improvements and the escrow for this particular lot would be roughly $136,000. The applicants have agreed to dedicate the required right-of-way per the General Development Ordinance, which is basically 30 feet from the center line of both Midway and Holford's Prairie roads, but of course wish to waive the street improvements, again, roughly $136,000. The city has collected a considerable amount of money, especially along Midway Road, for future improvements. However, in all those cases where the city has collected money, they were much larger tracts. For instance, the Metro Auto Auction, the Ratliff Midway Edition, and then I think Ewing Irrigation. Back in 2004, the City Council considered a conceptual variance for the property that's immediately across the road from this property. I guess I'll have a pointer over on the east side of Holford's Prairie Road. And they did grant the variance with the condition that that property not be combined with a adjacent property to make a larger tract. With the, I guess the thought being is that as long as it remained a small standalone parcel, the street escrow or the street improvements were disproportionate to the size and value of the property. But if it were absorbed into a larger development, then of course we would want to revisit that issue. So staff is making the same recommendation for this property that was made for the variance that was across the road back in 2004, in that staff is recommending the variance be granted for the Fopen addition, the 1.57 acres, with the condition that if this particular parcel is ever absorbed or combined into a larger scheme of development, either by site plan, plat, or ownership, that variance would be voided and would need to be reconsidered again if the developer wanted it to be considered. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have. I know that the owners of the property are here this evening as well, in case they have any information they would like to add. The only other thing that I would add is that if you do choose this evening to go with the staff recommendation, it is important that you read the recommendation exactly as it's proposed in your backup with the condition.
I've got a question for you. Why does it have to be an all or nothing? I mean, I agree that the amount, the 36,000 or whatever, is way too much, but why does it go automatically to nothing? Can there not be a middle ground in there? Or can we not waive the Holford Prairies side but not the Midway side? Why do we have to do all of it?
That has been done to some extent. When we did the, back when we did the, I think it was the Ratliff Midway edition, there was actually a partial variance that was worked out at City Council with regard to Barfnick Road. They paid the full amount on Midway, but worked out a compromise amount, I guess, on Barfnick Road. So that always is a possibility.
So if we, I mean, so have we not looked into that or discussed that, or is that just,
No, that has not been discussed for this particular project. Again, because it's so similar to the property that was across the street that was considered in 2004, staff typically tries to use the precedence that's been set for similar properties, similar location.
I had one question also. Is there any consideration to swinging the end of Halford's closer to the other intersection?
Yes.
Instead of a square?
We did negotiate, or we have been negotiating with the property owners to purchase additional right-of-way to facilitate a realignment of the intersection. To date, we have not been able to come to an agreeable amount with regard to the purchase of that right-of-way. And the offer to purchase that right-of-way has, at least for the time being, been taken off the table. That doesn't mean that we couldn't revisit it again later. My understanding is that the owners do want to continue with the plat as currently proposed. It does meet all the requirements of the General Development Ordinance, and it doesn't necessarily mean that staff won't negotiate later, if I guess directed to do so.
Any other discussion?
the only thing I mean, for me, I don't see how you go all the way on this, and, I mean, we still are gonna have to build the road, they're still gonna be there. Whether the amount is too much, I still think this is the wrong decision to go in all or nothing, so, my opinion.
Okay, so noted. All right, at this time, any other discussion? If not, then I'll ask for a motion that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the final plat of Faux Pen Louisville Edition and the associated variance, with the condition that in the event the lot is combined with adjacent property through ownership, plat, or site plan, the variance will be voided. So do I have a motion? Mary? Yes, sir. Please state your name and sign the register.
Bill Foose, Foose, 3129 Hanover, Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
I'm one of the owners of the property, and we would request your motion and approval of that. We would like to request it not carry the stipulation that it is included in a larger tract. We were involved in negotiating, and we were under contract to sell this property to the adjacent owner, but the issue of the escrow came up, and it created some uncertainty in their regard, and they pulled out of that contract. For this reason, I think, just to answer your question, which is a good question, and there's been some properties out there that have been platted that have had no escrow attached to them, it's my understanding. There have been some properties out there platted that had some escrow attached to them. I guess they were deemed to be pretty much traffic generating type developments. I mean, I'm sure that was probably some of the reason behind it. This road, in particular, Holford's Prairie, where the majority of our expense would be in an escrow, is clearly, in my opinion, going to be a public road when it ties into what is planned to be Corporate Drive, coming all the way from 35 to to George Bush Tollway, and I guess no, not George Bush, Sam Rayburn Tollway now, and it was. We've been on this project for about 2 years. We came before y'all, and we talked about the alignment of Holford Prairie Road, and and it was mentioned in that public meeting by Mr. Kumar that there would not be escrow charges placed on this corner tract. Now, there was no mention made of what took place across the road. He might have been thinking about the platting of the property on the northeast corner of Hofer's Prairie and Midway. I could be mistaken. I'm not sure. I don't think there was an escrow required on that plat. So I think that might have set a precedence also for going from no escrow, from a large escrow to no escrow on a corner tract like this. One of the reasons behind the agreement with the city council on Mrs. Mulligan's tract, she was trying to sell the property. When the buyers came in and discussed the development of the property, this escrow, they were hit with this escrow, and the council, I think, very mercifully adopted that ordinance. And that's a little bit of the history behind that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So the recommendation, as it does read, is combined with any property through ownership, plat, or site plan. So that would be what we'd be voting on tonight.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Jared to approve,
Second.
seconded by Alvin. Those in favor signify by aye.
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 Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Motion carries by majority.
Was there a nay?
Yes, Jim and Brent.
You too?
Nay.
You
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that was with the recommendation as written by staff, correct?
Yes. David, would you?
Recommend approval of the final plat of Fopen, Louisville Edition, and the associated variance with a condition that in the event the lot is combined with adjacent property through ownership, plat, or site plan, the variance will be voided.
So now this goes to city council, correct?
Yes, it's tentatively scheduled for the city council on the 17th of September.
Okay. Mary, is there any other? I guess not. Adjournment is the next item. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Excuse me, Chair, I did want to make another announcement. I did want to introduce Jeff Kelly over here to my right. Jeff Kelly has been promoted to Assistant City Engineer, and you'll be seeing Jeff here at the Planning and Zoning Commission meetings more likely instead of me in the future. So I wanted you to be familiar with Jeff. He's worked for the city for, I'm guessing, I was going to say 5. It's been 6 years, so time flies.
Okay, welcome, Jeff, and thank you, David. Now may I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion by Michael, seconded by Brent. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.